Like the plot of a Disney Channel original movie, a high school kid wins an elected seat to a local school board. But that's the real storyline for the Boise School District after 18-year-old Boise High School student Shiva Rajbhandari nailed it. Beat sitting trustee Steve Schmidt by more than 2,000 votes. That's a tough one to say. It may seem like an oxymoronic stretch to say this school board election is an interesting one, with a right-wing group trying to push candidates of their own to push back from the other side of the spectrum. And the answer seemed to be Boise voters are doing just fine, thank you very much, and so is their school district with the way things are going, except for the electing of the high school kid. So what will it be like to have a student on the school board? Well, it won't be about longer lunches and no homework like a TV movie might make it seem. Here's Joe Paris.
The Boise School District Board of Trustees election is in the book. 13 candidates ran in 4 races for 5 trustee positions. A first of its kind outcome in Boise, 18-year-old Boise High student Shiva Rajbhandari beat incumbent Steve Schmidt in race 4 to earn a spot on the Board of Trustees.
Were you surprised that you won, or I guess what was your feeling going into the election?
I don't know. We were just we were knocking on doors. We knocked 2,000 doors this weekend out of like 5,000 total doors. So we were putting in the work for sure. But you know, you never know how an election is going to go, especially some of these local elections. And yeah, I was certainly super honored to have the trust of the voters.
And you're in a really unique position here where, I mean, as far as we can find, you're the only student that's ever been on the school board here. What do you think that balance is like of actually being a student in the district and then, you know, having the 50,000-foot view of being on the board?
I think it's super important. This campaign is about student representation, and we need students on our school board. 14% of large districts across the country have students on the school board, so this is just Boise schools getting caught up to the times, and I'm excited to set a precedent for, you know, student representation and a student vote on board decisions for hopefully generations to come.
Rajbhandari is in a unique situation, sitting on a board with much different life and lived experience.
The community came out very strongly that they like the direction that the district is going, and we're hopeful that we can just stay that course.
Beth Oppenheimer has served on the Boise School Board since 2016. She won another 6-year term in this latest election.
This election has really opened up our eyes to you know, where we can make improvements, what's going well, what's not going well, and we're going to just continue to make those improvements where we can and stay the course.
Oppenheimer says she's excited to work with Rajbhandari, someone that will bring a new perspective and lens to the board.
Shiva's one voice on a 7-person board. I'm one voice on a 7-person board. And it's really about working as a team. And I look forward to it. You know, we have worked together as a team, the board historically, for the most part. We don't always agree, but it's really about working as a team.
Unique story aside, Rajbhandari says his run and term on the board is not for show. He's there to make a difference.
I see a need, right? Student representation is something that all students deserve. Students should be at all places where decisions are being made, but especially where decisions are being made in education. And you know, I'm super lucky that, you know, the majority of the voters agree, and the majority of voters do believe that, you know, student voice is valuable and are willing to give us a seat at the table.
I'm interested to hear what his perspectives are and see how we can all come together and work together and continue to make advancements in the district.
Still, the fact that a current student is set to join the school board officially on Monday, it's a very unique situation.
I'm curious if you had a unique conversation with your parents about, okay, you're on the school board, but you still got to make the mark here.
Yeah, this morning, my mom pulled me aside. She's like, I need 15 minutes of your time. And it ended up being like a 2-minute conversation. She's like, you better be attending your classes. She's like, you know, because it really is such an honor to be a leader district-wide, as well as in my school. And it's certainly an example that I want to set for students, teachers, staff, and everyone. And I think it's a super vital role that I have to play, and I hope I can balance that well.
So all members of the board will be officially installed on Monday. That includes Shiva, and there are a few different intricacies here about how long each member, each trustee, I should say, how long their term is on the board. Shiva will serve a 2-year term. And Brian, you asked during the story, so I'll answer it. Yes, we talked to Shiva during his lunch break today. He was just walking off campus from Boise High School, but 2-year term. It'll be interesting to see him specifically, and this is a storyline that it's hard not to follow, an 18-year-old on the school board. He'll graduate this year, you know, presumably.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens next year. But he's on there for a 2-year term.
Yep, a high school student, Shiva, beating out a sitting Steve Schmidt. That's what I was trying
There
to
you
say.
go. On the second chance,
That
you got
got
the
it.
S alliteration all the way through.
Thank you very much, Joe.